What's up guys, Nico here, and today I want to make a video asking you guys what is your favorite format in Yu-Gi-Oh! I wanted to make this video as a more positive video because talking about the format right now, there's not much positive things I can say. Most of the talk right now is how much people hate this format and just want it to move on, and go anywhere in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Community online and you will see negativity, and I'm with them. I'm not saying this format's good, but I want to make a more positive video reflecting on the past, talking about formats that I've really liked and ones that are my favorites. So right now, as you're listening or you're watching, start thinking and commenting below, start typing, what is your favorite format? It can be not just the one you think is the best, but the one you had the most fun in, because the ones I'm going to say are my favorites are probably not your favorites or the community's overall favorite, because the ones I've had the most fun with are the ones that I think are the best. So, my favorites. So I'm going to go kind of from now to the back in history, start with the more current, recent formats, and then start going back and back and back, talking about ones I've liked, and then overall telling you which one's my favorite. So as I do so, think of your favorite, and maybe I'll bring back some memories for you. So the most recent format that I liked was actually the Necros versus Burning Abyss versus Shaddoll versus Clipwort format. The deck I played during this format was Clipwort, and probably ironically that's my least favorite deck of the 3 decks in that format, or 4 decks. If you consider, Burning Abyss wasn't really that huge in that format. It was more so Clipwort, Shaddoll, Necros. But my favorite deck in that format was actually Shaddoll, but they were pretty expensive at the time, and I wasn't like super back in Yu-Gi-Oh! At that time. I was kind of still fading out. So I didn't buy Shaddolls, I bought Clipworts. And I actually had a lot of fun in that format. I liked how each of those 4 decks really were not just competitively equal. Their Necros were number 1, yes, but they weren't to the point where no other decks can really compete against it and have a fair shot. With that, Shaddolls could easily beat Necros. Clipboards could easily beat Necros. Every deck basically had a 50-50 shot, even though Necros were slightly in the lead for the best deck. Actually, I remember now. The format, I bought Clipboards late in the format, and then they got hit after. When I went to I went to 1 regionals in that format, and I played Spellbooks. And I played Spellbooks because Necros were about, I would say, 20 to 30% of the format. I played 3 of them in that regionals, and my Spellbooks were really good against it because all I had to do was play Jowgen and defend Jowgen. So I played Spellbooks and Clipboard that format. And I just really liked it. I liked how all the decks are pretty equal. I liked the decks and how they fought against each other. Not only were they equal, but they played well against each other. The combos against each other were very, not just fair, but they were fun to watch. They were fun to do. The Necros or Shaddoll format especially was just, it wasn't too fast, it wasn't too slow, it was exciting to watch, it was exciting to play with. I really liked that matchup and the whole format in general. Going back, I hated being in this format. No, I hated playing in this format, but I loved watching this format, and that is Dragon Rulers versus Spellbooks, which I think is late 2013. I remember it was summer for sure. The reason why I hated it is, that was 3 years ago now almost, so, I did not have the money to make either of these decks, nor did I ever want to spend that much money, because they were both upwards of $1,000, and it was just fun to play online, and it was fun to watch the regionals, the nationals, and the world championships with these 2 decks, because they were very, very neck to neck. Spellbooks were so good that format because they were good against Dragon Ruler, but Dragon Ruler didn't instantly lose to Spellbooks. Dragon Rulers had the edge, but Spellbooks definitely could counter them. They're basically the only deck that could counter them. I was a Spellbook player, but I was rooting for Spellbooks that format. I was playing Fire Fist. I rarely beat Dragon Ruler. I beat Spellbook pretty well. It was about 40-60. But Dragon Ruler was basically impossible to beat Dragon Ruler. But yeah, I just really like that format. I thought the intensity, the size of the plays, how powerful these two decks were. Spellbooks and Dragon Wheel are probably the two best decks of all time, and I'm not gonna lie about that. I think they are the two best decks that have ever existed in Yu-Gi-Oh! And the fact that they both existed in the same format was very, very fun to be in. It was just the scale of the duels were so massive. All these plus 10s every turn. It was crazy. It wasn't like it is now where you don't feel the scale of the pluses now. I don't feel. Back then it was just so massive, so cool to be in, and so cool to play in. Very, very recently before that, this is my second favorite format, I think. It's Fire Fist vs. Mermail, and this was the first format where, and only, that I went, I go to, I usually go once per format to a regionals, and this was the format that was it? No, this was definitely the regionals that I got top 42 and got my invite. It was the first time I ever got my invite and the only time I got my invite. The second time I was really close with Magic Specters. I was like a few places off. But I love this format because how competitive I was during it. I went to so many locals. I never went to any more locals than I did during this time. Went to so many locals, so many tournaments to practice, so many games online, because I bought Fire Fist, and my dad bought me 2 Fire Fist Bears, and that was like my present for, I don't know, I can't remember, but I got those Fire Fist Bears, and I was ecstatic. So I worked my butt off preparing, and all of a sudden I saw Vexus 46666666 video saying, or it was a regional top, it wasn't even top 8, I think it was like number 29th, and I saw that Fire Fist Dino Rabbit was starting to get some traction. This was 2-3 weeks before the regionals, where I had my Fire Fist deck built, it was ready, and I saw this Dino Fist, I think that's what it was called, Dino Fist built, and I was like really intrigued in it because it had the G-Morph Werewolves, and then it had 3 Sabersaurs, and then 2 Rescue Rabbit. I love Rescue Rabbit at that time. Before that, it was Rescue Rabbit versus Chaos Dragon, I think. Yeah. And I love that so much because I love going to Lagia and setting 4. I'm one of those annoying people. I prefer doing that than doing massive Mermail plays. I like the play Rescue Rabbit, banish it, play 2 Sabersaurs, go into Lagia, set 4, pass. Then the next turn, you can play your Tenki, search a Fire Fist Bear, destroy their whatever they have, the Mermail, Xyz, or something, with Bear, attack over, get another Tenki or something, negate whatever you need to with Lagia. I sided 3-dimensional Fissure, and I played like 4 Mermail that day and beat them all but 1. And then I beat all the Dino Rabbit that I faced that day. And then the only thing I lost to, I lost to 1 Mermail. And like some weird Quasar deck, it made me really depressed because I was like, Quasar beating me. No, that was a different day. I know I lost to 1 Mermail. And I ended up going 6-3, and that was the first time I did really good at the tournament. And I really liked that format because how competitive I was. Now my favorite format, and that is, I think this one's really indecisive. I think you either hated this format or you love this format. And that is Dino Rabbit versus Chaos Dragon versus Wind Up versus Insector. More specifically the Insector and Wind Up part. But I really did like Dino Rabbit. I wasn't a huge fan of Chaos Dragon, but wow. And this lasted for like 6-9 months. So when Wind Ups first came out, right, and the Shockwave or whatever, the one where Xyz were first released with Factory and Soldier and Snail, I loved the deck, and everyone made fun of me for it. I remember I said, this deck is going to be amazing, but everyone doubted me. Started playing it, then the next set came up where Dino Rabbit started to exist, Rescue Rabbit came out. It was like the Photon Shockwave or something. Generation Force was the one before that, I remember. Then people were like, okay, it's still not great, but it's good. At that time, I think Wind Up Rabbit came out, maybe. And it was like Wind Up Soldier, not too great. But then the next set came over where Wind Up Rat came out and Shark. And everyone jumped on the ship, and it was Wind Up versus Insector versus Dino Rabbit. Then Chaos Dragon came out like a month after. I've never had so much fun playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Because you had Wind Up Hand Loop, Looping Insector. If you went first, you looped. If you went second, you would still try to loop the rest of the hands, but you wouldn't have as... The duels were just so dramatic, because anything could happen at any time. Either player could blow up, but it was still... Everyone was playing so many spells and traps at that time, right? So things, like, they countered each other, but they were also so explosive, and I really, really enjoyed that format, and I had so much fun in it. Then, Hunter got banned, and then you had the Shock Lock, but you also had the Magician Shark OTK, and I remember studying that so much, nailed in my brain, the Shark Magician OTK, still remember it. Normal summon Magician, special summon Shark. Shark special summons a rat. You exceed into Papilloperative or whatever. You detach Magician. Flip Rat to attack. Rat activates this effect. Flip back to defense. Special summon Magician defense. And then something happened. You know what I'm getting at. I think I missed the step where Zenmaity comes into play. But there's OTK, and there's also the Shock Lock, and there's just so many plays, and it was so much fun to be in. And it was cool because not only did I like wind-ups, but I loved them from the first set they came out. And they're my favorite deck of all time. I love them from the first set they came out. I supported them all until the Order of Chaos, where I can't believe I'm remembering all these sets. I supported them the whole time. And then it came out of nowhere, and I bought the deck. And I won. Let me tell you, I won. I had 3 wind-up rabbits before they jumped to $100. And let me tell you about them wind-up rabbits. I kind of look like a crazy person right there, because I'm just so excited. The wind-up rabbits I sold for like $400. I called my dad. One day they just magically, everyone realized it's such a great card. They went from like 20, 30 to 150. I called my dad. I was like, we need to sell my 3 wind-up rabbits. I still played, because I think that happened after a little bit of when wind-up was still that. Because then they got reprinted like really shortly after. They were only that price for a while. And I remember selling the 3 of them for like $400. And yeah. And then I just bought the rabbits again. Yeah, okay, that's what happened. I kind of skipped out during the Shock Lock portion. So it was like really, really popular with the hand loop. I played during hand loop. Then the Shock Lock came out. And I was kind of iffy during that. That's when I sold my rabbits. Then the reprint came. And then it was the OTK version. And that's what I played. That's what I remember. But yeah, I love that format so much. Quick shoutouts. Love Black Wings. I love Six Samurais. I like the frogs a lot. I forgot what form this was, but it was when TG Stun was a thing. I think, yeah, Tengu Plant. Love Tengu Plant. Because I love Synchros so much. It was the Trishulas. I remember pulling 3 Trishulas. You can go on my Stardew or Nico page from 2011. I pulled 2 Trishulas in a row, and I sold one, played the other, and I love playing Tengu Plant so much. And then I play TG. Oh my gosh, that was so much fun too. It was like TG Tengu Plant. I love that format so much. I hate, let me tell you one thing before this video is done. I hate formats like this, unless it's extremely crazy. I hate when they're like nonsensical. I like when every card matters and every card counts for 1 card. And everyone has around 6 to 7 cards. And losing 1 card matters to you. Losing 1 card advantage, too miserable. Do you know what I mean by that? I hate it like now, where you can have 5 pendulum monsters on the field. you could care less if they die. You destroy all of them, they'll just come back. I hate that because it makes the value of each individual card go down. I'm not talking about like price-wise, I'm talking about in the game, where your cards don't matter as much. And I like it back then where traps were really important. That's why Wind Up Rabbit was so good, because it dodged the traps. So yeah. Thank you for watching. I hope this maybe goes to 1 now, because I want to play Wind Ups again. I might buy Wind Up Rabbits now again. Thanks for watching. I don't know. I want to play Dark Magician really bad, but I mean, they're not great. They're good. I'm winning probably 80% of my duels. I'm not lying. I'm winning a lot. The 20% of the duels I'm losing was when I brick really badly. I don't know. I want Wind Ups to be good again. I want Insectors to be good again. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later. Bye.